Okay, so in Citrix we are having five kind of layers. Okay, so as you can see, user layer, access layer, control layer, resource layer, and the hardware layer. Okay, so the first layer, we have nothing to do with that layer. Why? Because that is the user layer. User is having their own laptop, own or corporate laptop or desktop, and in those devices, one application should be there, which is Citrix Workspace app, and one web browser should be there, right? So this is the end user access, right? Now in data centers, we are having four layers. Access layer, in access layer, it will allow access to the end user. Means in access layer, two components should be there. One is storefront, which is a web page, and another one is NetScaler or ADC, which balance the load. It is used for the load balancing purpose. What is that? Okay. Now in the control layer, all the servers which are controlling our infra, all those servers will be there in the control layer, right? Domain controller, delivery controller, then SQL server for database, license server for license allocation, and file server to store the data, end user data, any virtual data, whatever it is, every data should be there on the file server. And resource layer is that in the resource layer we will install the virtual machines, we will configure the VDA, and those resources we will publish to the end users with the help of the access layer, means with the help of the storefront. And the very important is hardware layer, which is the hypervisor. In the hardware layer, you will get network card, Wi-Fi, multiple storage, multiple processor, memory in terabyte or maybe in petabyte, graphics, hypervisor. So basically, as you can see, all the layers like access layer, control layers, and resource layer, these are the virtual machines which are hosted on the hardware layer, which is our hypervisor. Is it clear?
Yes,
Means
yes.
all the servers are created or it it is hosted on the hypervisors only, right? So let me show you. So basically this is my server, remote server, and let me close the Gen Center. Okay, so this is my Gen Center, and my hypervisor is Citrix hypervisor, which is known as Gen server. In market, we are having three most popular players for hypervisors. First one is Citrix, and hypervisor from Citrix is Gen server. Earlier it was Gen server. Now they guys converted it to Citrix hypervisor. Means they guys renamed, right? Second hypervisor is from VMware, which is known as VMware ESXi host. And third hypervisor, it is from the Microsoft, which is known as Hyper-V, right? So I think now they guys renamed Hyper-V to Microsoft Virtual Machine Manager, something like that, right? So whenever you will join, right, whenever you will work, you will find three hypervisors only, right? So for older or for big infra, you will get VMware. Some at some For some clients you will get Citrix hypervisor as well, right? But Microsoft Hyper-V is it is not that much common, but you may find something like somewhere. So as you can see, this is my hypervisor Gen server. If I go to the memory tab, I have allocated 32 GB of memory to my hypervisor. So basically, this is my physical server with 32 GB of RAM. On that physical server, I directly installed Citrix hypervisor as an operating system, right? And I connected that hypervisor with the help of Gen Center application. So normally, if I go to the console, this is a screen what I am getting on my monitor, right? This is a physical screen. If I enter the password, now this kind of GUI I will get on my monitor, right? So now if I type here one command, access console, to take the console, you can see this is a console. This is my actual hypervisor. Okay. In the status, you will see the IP address. If I click on the virtual machines, all virtual machines, you will see app server 010203 DDC, whatever it is created here, all those. Basically, this is my hypervisor. Whatever operations I am performing with the help of Gen Center, this is just a tool, right? whatever, if I create new virtual machine from here, it is just getting listed in Gen Center, but actual location on my hypervisor only. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this is my hypervisor, and on my hypervisor I have created all the like controllers like delivery controller, storefront, then your application servers or master image, whatever it is, right? So for me, this is my hardware layer. On my hardware layer, I have configured every layer, means user layer is here, not user layer, that control layer, delivery controller, storefront, then your VDA is there, resource layer, it comes under the resource layer, right? So, and also I have configured NetScaler as well. So why? Because it comes under the access layer, and storefront is also the access layer. So you can see access layer hosted on my hypervisor, control layer hosted on my hypervisor, and resource, all the virtual machines, whatever you will get in organization, each and every machine will be on your hypervisor only. Okay. Is this slide clear? Any
Yes.
doubt? Anyone?
No, Mahesh.
Now, coming to the major part, how I have scheduled the entire classes, right? So the first thing is prerequisite and introduction. So that's what we are discussing right now. Okay. So only first class is theoretical class. Why? Because we are discussing the Citrix, how it works, right? We are getting some theoretical knowledge, right? But from second class onwards, like from tomorrow, we will continue with the practicals only. In the second session, we will learn how to configure the delivery controller and other core components. In the third one, we will learn how to install and configure the hypervisor. In the fourth one, we will create one site and we will add delivery controller to that site. Then in the fifth one, we will learn how to create the master image or golden image, or how to create the virtual disk. In the sixth one, we will learn how to create the machine catalogs, then how to create the delivery groups. Then in the eighth one, how to configure the storefront server. Then in the ninth one, we will test our entire deployment, whatever that we have deployed in our data center. In the ninth one, we will test the deployment, and 10th will be for backup and troubleshooting plan. If something got failure, if there is a disaster, right? So how to recover from that disaster, those kind of things we will cover in this 10th one. Okay. So this is how. So this is this is first session. This is just an introduction only, right? And from tomorrow onwards, we will continue with the practical. Any doubt in this breakup, guys?
No, it's all good. Just one question, please. Excuse me. Do we have to plan Active Directory according to this, or it doesn't matter?
Look, in every infra, you will find one Active Directory server, right? So in my case, this is my server. This is my server, okay? And I have configured this server as a domain controller, right? As you can see, this is my
Okay.
domain abc.com, and in this server only I am having Active Directory users and computer. So if you want to learn how to configure a domain controller, I will schedule one more session for that, right? No issue in that, okay? Because
Okay.
in every organization you will get that container, like where you will see the users and computers, each and everything will be there, right? So if you want,
Okay.
I will let you know how to create the delivery controller if you don't know. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So now, so this is a breakup for my sessions, right? So where it gone. Okay. So this, okay. So from first to 9 sessions will be continue only till testing of our deployment, and then what we will do, then that 10th lecture for troubleshooting and real-time scenario related things, that session will be for 2 or 3 days, right? means 1 to 10 days, then plus 2 days, because that will be the lengthier session. In this session we will learn how to troubleshoot the things in the real time scenario. Okay, now coming to the lab, what kind of lab we have to create? Give me a minute, guys. I'm getting a ring on my cell phone. I'm going on mute for 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a lab infra that we have to create to deploy the entire data center, right? So our first server, it will be our domain controller. For domain controller, I have allocated 2 GB of RAM. This is enough to manage the Active Directory, right? And my domain is techmtech.com. In your case, domain may be different. You can create your own domain. Our second server will be our delivery controller, which is the mastermind of entire Citrix infra, right? So I have allocated 6 GB of RAM and I join that machine into my domain. Third and fourth servers will be our hypervisor, like Gen server 01 and Gen server 02. So why I picked up to two hypervisor, like if one goes down, in that case we can switch the entire operation to second hypervisor. And fourth and fifth and sixth machine, these will be our end user devices, right? What we will do, we will install Google Chrome and Citrix workspace in those device, right? And we will try to access the resources, whatever we will publish the resources on our hypervisors, right, with the help of our storefront server. So as you can see, the hardware requirement to create your own lab, it will be 2 plus 6 8 GB, then 10 plus 10 20 28 GB, then 2 that means 32 GB of RAM is actually required to deploy the entire data center. So now, what if you do not have that much of hardware resources, like if you do not have that kind of laptop or desktop, just let me know what we can do. We can avoid Gen server 02 and we can eliminate this second machine as well, and we will good with the these four machines, right? If you have, there is no problem, but if you don't have, just let me know. Okay, so now coming to the, I have to create one more slide in this. Okay. Why? Because every time I have to type. Okay. Okay. So now coming to the requirements. So first we talk about the skill requirement. So basic knowledge of Windows Server, then your Active Directory and ADDS, like Active Directory and domain services. Some basic knowledge of DSCP server, how DSCP work. But I need only that thing, means you should be able to create the users in domain controller and to join the machine into the domain. Rest I will take care. And some basic knowledge of network. Why? Because we have to allocate IP address with the help of DSCP server only. DSCP and DNS. That's it. Only basic knowledge is required. I do not want you to be a network guy, right? Only with some kind of basic knowledge. Now coming to the hardware requirement. Hardware requirement to set up the lab. So as I told you, if you have 32 GB of RAM in your laptop or desktop, it will be good, right? But if you don't have 32 GB of RAM at least, so in that case, I can we can eliminate this, means 10 GB is minus and 2 GB is minus, right? So 12 GB. So at least 20 GB or will be it should be there, right? For a smooth operation, but somehow we can manage in 16 GB as well, right? But it will be slow, means very slow actually. Now in the hardware requirement, okay, this is for the memory like RAM. Now coming to the CPU requirement. It should be i5 or higher with at least 4 cores. As you can see in my system, if I go to the performance in CPU, like I'm having 4 where it gone? I'm having 4 physical cores and 8 logical cores. So at least 4 cores should be there for smooth operations. But just let me know what kind of like hardware you guys have. If you don't have hardware, I will arrange hardware for you as well, right? So and next part will be your storage. I will always recommend SSD with at least 512 GB to set up the entire test lab. Okay, so this is a hardware requirement. Now coming to the software requirement. In software requirement, first let's talk about the ISO files. So uh, Windows Server ISO file, Windows Server 2019. I will recommend you guys, please do not use 2016 and 2012. These are out of support. Okay, so 2019 will be fine. 2012 is there in the market. If you want, you can use 2022, but 2019 is stable. You can use that. Okay, then your Windows 10 ISO. Now these ISO files you can download from Microsoft official website. You will get these ISO file free of cost for next 180 days. Okay. Now coming to the Citrix ISO. So Citrix virtual apps and desktop CBAD ISO file. If you do not have your Citrix accounts, I will share the link for those ISO file. Citrix ISO, then your Citrix hypervisor, Citrix hypervisor ISO file, then your Gen Center application. That is enough. Okay. Now, okay, so your Gen Center application, Citrix ISO file, Citrix hypervisor ISO. Okay, okay, okay. So these ISO files will be required. So what I can do here, let me save this first. Okay, I will reformat the slide in my free time, no worries. So these ISO files and hardware requirements are there. So let me share you guys the ISO files because Citrix ISO files I am having with me. Where is my okay. So let me share. You will get all the Citrix ISO files with that link. Just click on that link and download the ISO files and keep those ISO files in your laptop. Shrinu, I think you have created one group, right? WhatsApp group. I'm unable to locate that. Where it is? Okay, this one.
Citrix 7 a.m.
Yeah,
batch.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yes, yes, yes. I think you guys already having those ISO files with you, right?
Yes, yes, Mahesh.
No worries. I again shared the link. You can download. And after the class, I will share the recordings as well. No issue in that. Now, coming to the Windows 10, Windows Server
In the server ISO file.
2019 download. You can use that link. I'm just sharing that link. Just do one thing where it is. How to download. Hmm. Okay. In this link, just click on this thing like English 64-bit edition. You will get your download. It will get started. Okay. So and for Windows 10, these are the official Microsoft websites only. So you can use. I think you are the IT guys, right? So you might be having those ISO files with you. But if you don't have, you can download with this link. Okay, guys. So please be there with your hardware from tomorrow. Why? Because we will start with the practicals tomorrow, how to install the delivery controller and other stuff, right? So from tomorrow onwards, whatever I will do on my lab, you have to replicate the same infra on your lab. Okay. So that is how it will work, right? So after every session, I will share the recordings with you. You can follow the recordings, and after the eighth step, you will be able to understand like how Citrix work. Like if someone tell you like, please deploy one data center for me, so you will be able to deploy the data center for any client or for any user, right? Any concern, anyone so far?
All good, thank you.
Sorry.
Said all good, thank you. It was good.
Yeah. So okay, guys. So what I think. If you do not have any questions, so from tomorrow morning we will start with the practicals only. Okay. And that's it from my side. If you guys have any concern, you can ask, or else we are good to conclude the session or call. Any question, anyone? No? Okay, then. Thank you very much, guys. Have a
Yep.
nice day. Good day.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. We will connect tomorrow morning at same time. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.